Hi, everybody. I'm MaRia Lopez, and I'm coming straight out of Atlanta, Georgia. I got 24/7 magazine here directly with me. Make sure you follow them, you pick up some subscriptions, and you get on the cover. I was born in Chicago, but I grew up in Fort Wayne, Indiana. I lived in Indianapolis, and I've been back and forth living in Atlanta since 15.
Okay, so how's been the difference between Atlanta and Fort Wayne for you?
Oh, it's a real big difference. Moving from Fort Wayne at 15, it was 1989. So, of course, it's way different. Back then, it was a chance for me to have a better life, see different things, and be somewhere that was more geared toward going to college and becoming a professional. Not saying I couldn't do that where I was from. It just took a little bit more means. So it was a lot different here then. It's a lot different now. But I feel like now, looking back, it was the best thing for me and my family.
All right, so since you've been here, you got into the entertainment business. Kind of explain where you started at and where you ended up.
Okay. Well, it's a weird situation because I pretty much been an industry kid since about 10 years old. My family had a big affiliation with Indiana Black Expo. So I was always on the road picking up girls. And when it wasn't pageant time, the girls were trying to make it into singing, dancing, commercials. So I always took to something in the industry, whether it was acting or modeling. I just knew I wanted to grow up and be one of those girls.
All right, so you started out like afterwards. You got into public relations, things of that sort. Kind of explain how that went.
Yeah, it was an accident. I was seeing someone that did music. He was a rapper at the time, and he was doing a lot of business here in Atlanta. Um, I'm a social butterfly by nature, so he basically needed somebody to make some phone calls for him, just be a face for the meetings. I pretty much took it and ran with it. I was talking to management. I was talking to a record label in New York. It just came a little easy, and I liked it. So I immediately took a 6-month course at Kennesaw State College Online and became a certified public assistant publicist. And then about 4 months later, I became a certified publicist.
What was the some of the best things about being a published to you, and some of the bad things?
Ooh. Well, there was a lot of good times. You meet a lot of young people, a lot of good people. There's, of course, the connections in the industry, especially being here in Atlanta. It's all about music. Um, for me, it started uh, back as far as 2006. Even with MySpace, I started my own MySpace page. I said I'm gonna be a publicist, and I know it, and I'm gonna be super rich and have this big office. So when that didn't start to happen, I had to reevaluate and look at what I was doing wrong. So that's when the bad comes in. Being a publicist, you're chasing someone else's dream. You're trying to make things happen for someone else. You're really not doing anything for you. You are working, you're getting a check, but there can be a lot of downtime. Like when that artist isn't touring or isn't making money, you're really not either. You're making a lot of connections. So that's some of the down, and I could go a long road into down, but a lot of the good is just the people you meet and the connections you can keep, and the education out of it.
But ultimately, like from an artist standpoint, having a publicist is beneficial for them, right?
It is.
And
For me, I don't think the artist that's just starting out needs a publicist as far as a need, but to have one would be good. I think that you got to kind of make your mark, find a manager, promoter things like that before you get the publicist, because the publicist doesn't work on your time. They're out making moves. They're trying to get you in the public eye, parties, media, radio, things like that. So it's a little bit more on the table than when you decide to do the music. You're really making those connections and breaking out that artist. So yeah, every artist does need a publicist. When you first start, not as much, but it would be cool to keep your eye on one and see who's doing what.
Okay, so coming from a modeling background, you also are into makeup, obviously. So how did you get into makeup, and what made you decide to want to pursue that at one point?
I think every little girl plays in makeup and loves makeup, but you have a passion when you want it on other people. I really didn't want the makeup on me. It was just something I picked up. I went to hair school at 18 in my high school program. And what comes along with doing hair, you do learn a segment of makeup. I really at that time didn't pay it no attention. I thought, hey, I'm young. I was always told you don't wear makeup until a certain age, so I didn't bother with it. I went out of town with a friend. We were just road tripping, and it was their family's wedding. There was so many, what do you call it? Bridesmaids. So many bridesmaids, so many family members. Nobody had makeup on. So I had my own makeup case, and I believe every woman is beautiful. You don't need makeup. It's just whether you like it or not. I was like, let me put makeup on all the ladies. The bride had her makeup on. It was like 6 women. After that, I just knew I loved it. That was something I wanted to do. It also tied in to being a publicist because I worked with models. And when the rappers needed their video shoot done, I can just get all that work and do the makeup too. So with being a publicist, I also had maybe 3 or 4 other roles.
Okay, so entertainment, it kind of all seems to tie together, just like you said, with the publicist and with the makeup. Okay, transitioning into the acting side of things, what made you decide to go that route, and how has that been going for you so far?
I didn't just wake up and decide this is what I want to do. I did wake up and decide I was going to take it serious. I had a couple acting roles as a teen, and it wasn't something I just worked for. It just ended up happening, and I liked it. Again, it goes back into me being involved with the expo as a young kid. Every time you go to expo, you see all these stars. So it was a point of looking at what they do in the life they had, and I just kind of got intrigued. I was always around older people and always around these events, so it kind of made me want more. I kind of wanted to just not be the high school kid and just turn to a grown-up to start doing what they were doing. So just to reflect back on the acting, it was something I took a chance on recently, March 31st, as a matter of fact. I submitted myself. I made my own little bio, started looking online, how do you do submissions. And with Atlanta being a big just pond of movies now, I said I was going to try it. And it just happened. I sent in a submission with some pictures and a little bio of some stuff I done, and I started getting calls ever since. So I've been booking myself. I didn't need to get an agent because it was coming in, and I said I was gonna go a little bit more in depth and maybe take some more acting classes. I did a 8-hour workshop with Darren Henson, and after that day I just knew this is something I wanted to do. He wrote me into one of his plays that was gonna go on tour that following December, but I had a life decision to make. I was at a really good job. Did I want to leave my job to go do this one-time, one-paid thing? Even though it could have transpired, the point of my life, I just didn't want to take that chance. Not then. So looking on it, I regretted it a lot. I see the other people that were there with me, the moves they're making now, and Darren himself, but I just know it wasn't for me then. So now doing the submissions, I just get up, look online, look for the movies that are here in town. I look for the casting agency and I submit myself, and I usually get a call back. If I don't, I just don't fit the description, and that's cool, or somebody submitted before me. But it hasn't been something I've been working really hard to do. It's been happening.
Okay, so what are some of the projects you participated in so far?
Okay. Well, my calendar is close in view. I have been on Being with Mary Jane, Greenleaf, which is a own production. Being Mary Jane is BET, which is shot here in Atlanta. I've been on Lauren Lake's Paternity Court as an audience member in 5 of her segments. And matter of fact, I'm booked next week. I've been on Greenleaf twice, been with Mary Jane 3 times. I've been on Tyler Perry The Have and Have Nots twice. And that was really great because I was right by Mr. Perry, right by Tika Sumpter. It was a cool experience, and they don't make you feel like background actors at all. You really feel like you're right there in the lead. I've been on the spinoff of Dynasty. It did get the pilot, so it will be showing. I've done a lot of bookings. It's going good.
So what would you say to other aspiring actors who are wanting to get in and they're wanting the importance of starting somewhere? Like, what would you tell somebody giving them advice on that?
Okay. Well, of course, there's a lot I haven't said. I found out a lot, how to get an agent, why and why not. But for an aspiring actor, I would honestly say get a workshop. Get into workshops with the actor, not with the casting team that are just doing workshops that you pay and you learn a little bit. Doing a full day with the actor gets you really in depth. It shows you how to change character, mood, and emotion. Also, take as many classes as you can, even if they're just online, because you really don't know how to act until you learn. But if you have the gift and you can do it, it makes it a lot easier. So you might as well learn as much as you can. Once you build a resume and you do have a lot of acting classes and workshops under your belt, then I would outseek an agent at that time. That way you're also proving to them you've been working and this is what you want to do, because they have to take you serious as well.
Okay, so aside from actually having acting chops, I mean, of course, if you're submitting, to a company you want to get into their film, obviously they're going to go based off of your look, and obviously you take care of yourself pretty well. What do you do to keep yourself looking young, to keep yourself fit, things of that nature? What's the process?
Okay. I honestly I got good genes. I'm not gonna lie. I am not this chick that works out. I go through spells of eating healthy. Like I've been eating healthy 2 weeks straight. Then the weekend come and I might go to Dairy Queen. So I don't have any hidden secrets. What I do to keep myself up is, especially being a mature woman, I am 42. I just try to take care of my inside. I try to drink a lot of water. I don't smoke cigarettes. I don't do, these different kind of drugs that could just start making you look old. I do drink a lot of detox water. I put a lot of fruit in my water. I drink the KO Fitness Slimming Tea, and it does work. I'm not sponsored. Another thing, I just think being calm in my life, not living in a lot of stress, keeps you looking good and feeling good and being happy. I always try to stay happy. Like we've discussed, I've had several different roles in my life. I've ventured off into different businesses. It keeps you happy, and I think that what keeps you young looking on the outside. So I don't do that much. I do wear makeup, but I do got a strong skincare routine.
Okay, and a lot of people don't understand, that, when you're talking about facials and talking about skincare, that alone can keep you looking young.
It can.
You would have to explain how, some of the things that you might do to keep yourself looking the way you need to look aside from that. Like, what does a facial entail?
Yeah. Okay. A simple facial is just cleanse, moisturize, and tone. That's going to be your simple facial, and that's just washing your face, having a toner, whether you have tight skin, dry skin, oily skin, everyone needs a toner or a freshener, and moisturizer, because even though you have your own natural oil balance, your skin is dry after you take a bath. It's dry during different climates. So having a good routine, even if you change products, having a good outside routine goes hand in hand with a good inside routine.
Okay, now you mentioned climate. With black folks, we tend to think that we can stand out in the sun all day and nothing happens to us. What's happening with that?
I am black. It gets questioned all the time. Really, honestly, we're just lucky because it's like we have our own natural defense. It's like we have a sunblock or a sunscreen on all the time. It's our melanin helping us out. But we also are the ones that get sunburned and don't know it. You just think you're a little bit darker, but you are actually getting sunburned. I'm not the sunblock queen. I don't like it, leaves a white tint on your skin, but sometimes you do. Like, I'm a victim of a really dark forehead. I'm a water baby, grew up on water, so I never wore sunscreen when I went swimming. So my forehead is naturally really dark. We do need sunscreen. We do, brown people. We do. We just don't think we do. But here in the climate in Atlanta, Georgia, it's always hot. It's always humid. So you're always going to need a good moisturizer at least, even if you don't wear a sunscreen. So to me, key is cleanse, tone, and moisturize.
Okay. So with all of the businesses and ventures that you've tried in your life, what's going on for the next 5 years? Where we at?
Next 5 years, I can see myself going into full-time acting, only because I just started to play with it and try it, and it's been coming in like a headspin. Like I was explaining to you off tape, sometimes I can't sleep because my email is changing and my times are changing, and I'm getting calls at 3 and 4 in the morning, and I got to be up at 5. But I like it. I like being busy. I don't know. I really would like a big role. I would like a small ongoing role or on a TV series. I just think that I found something that it doesn't take me working for someone else. It doesn't take me making decisions for someone else. It's just me and having fun. So next 5 years, I'm either going to have my own makeup product line, or I will be a full-time actress, or maybe just both.
Okay, lastly, how can people get in contact with you?
Okay, I'm contactable. My social medias are actress MaRia Lopez for Facebook, book MaRia Lopez on Twitter, and actress MaRia Lopez on Instagram. But I used to be the eyebrow beater. So that's how you can contact me.
Okay, any last words?
Just do what you love. Go hard. You don't need a support team. You're your only team until you get where you want to be and people want to support you. Look out for 24/7 magazine, because I'm also the beauty editor. You just would never know that. And my biggest fear is not doing something you wanted to do. And I really got a lot of issues with myself because there's stuff I haven't tried, stuff I held myself back. So just be your own strong team and go for it. And even if you have a different thoughts, a different business, a different new on a whim, something you want to try, do it. Because you're not doing nothing but just taking new chances and defeating old fears.